of a trend that you're starting to see with in general in the beverage industry, where like beer and mead and kombucha and stuff like that's getting a little bit grayer, and people are trying out different things. So this cidery that we're working with, we already started the project, so it'll be pretty interesting. It'll be somewhere around a 10% wild fermented sizer. It's going to be dry hopped, and we're going to put a little bit of citrus in there.
That sounds yummy. I like dry.
So,
I like hopped ciders. Are nice.
It's not going to be necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but it's going to be really interesting and really exciting, I think. Did a really nice collaboration with a friend's brewery in the fall. On the beer side, with a little, bit of honey. We've got a couple barrels that have been souring from that over the summer. We're probably going to release a couple of those. A bunch of different stuff going on like that, and that's the fun stuff, I think. And there's all sorts of cheersing and high-fiving afterwards when it gets to the point where you're really excited to do it. And I mean, here I am, this was all in my head 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm now working with brewers and people that I've really enjoyed and respected what they've done for a long time. And I consider that a pretty big compliment, and that's fun. It's, again, truthfully, if it were even 5% of my time that I got to spend doing that kind of stuff, I'd be surprised. And probably a much, happier person, because, it's a lot of work being in small business, but that stuff is just so much fun and so exciting to do, working with other people, trying out different ideas and brainstorming. So we're at least a little bit of that, and we've got some new things of our own we'll be putting out, but we like to keep those a surprise.
Okay. Totally get that. The sizer sounds really interesting. I look forward to trying that.
Yeah. I'll see if I can save you a 4-pack.
That would be cool.
And if you don't like it, you can share the other 3 cans with somebody else. Yeah. Wow, try this out.
Yeah, check this stuff out. I hated it, but you might love it. Yeah, I doubt it. It's rare that I've met a sizer that I didn't like. There are some bad ones out there, but they seem to be few and far between. Thank God. But yeah, hop sizer especially sounds really interesting. Can I ask what kind of hops, or is that a secret yet?
Still trying to keep it a little close to the chest until we get it further along and make sure that it's happy, because there's always some risk when you're using the kind of wild Funkatorium yeast that we're going with, that something might not turn out quite the way you want it to. But I think it's got a pretty high likelihood of success, and I'm super excited about it.
Oh, it sounds like it. When are you planning to release this? Have you got a projected time frame yet?
Probably a couple months from now.
Oh, cool.
So that just put out our summer seasonal mango jalapeño. Again, it's got a little heirloom chili pepper finish to it.
Nice.
Not enough that it builds up on your palate. I walked into the bar another night, just say hi to some friends, and not even just the group of friends, but pretty much everyone in there was was drinking some of it, and I said something to the bar manager. I was like, "Oh, well, I see you got us on draft," and he was like, "Yeah, they didn't bring me a tap." And I was like, "Well, I can get one to you tomorrow." And he's like, "I don't think it'll be worth it. It's just going to be gone." I'm like, all right, well, clearly some other people were just as excited about this as I was.
That is cool, though. When it disappears that fast, you gotta love it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we're. How about you guys? Anything new? You've got sitting in your garage, or your maybe over your wooden floors.
Well, I am on mead making hiatus till I get back from the tour, because I can't really. My husband has basically said you will not be making mead in the trailer as we're hauling it around the country, and I have to tend to agree with him, because it gets shook up a lot that way. It really wouldn't be a happy mead.
We were chatting.
I don't know. You might be surprised. I actually have done some research and found out that if you agitate the yeast continuously through the process, it helps your fermentation. It helps de-stress the yeast.
Yeah, it's also going to drop clear too.
Yeah, that's
if you're
true.
Aging things, sometimes it's been said that rum and other spirits and wine, if it's on a ship, they've actually gone and put a lot of barrels back on the boats to try and get that rocking motion for a little bit more barrel extraction.
No, there's a thought. Yeah, and I know what he's going to say if I bring that up. I just, yeah. As it is, God knows how much mead I will have by the time we finish going all the way around the country.
Wow. I'm gonna be starting a. We were chatting about it earlier. A mango and pine needle mead that I want to try.
Oh, that sounds tasty.
Spruce tips or what kind of pine?
Spruce tips, yeah.
I like spruce tip. There was a guy in Western Virginia who used to make a spruce mead that was to die for. It was so good.
Yeah, it should be interesting. More interesting getting spruce tips here in Miami Beach, but that's Amazon's taking care of that for me.
They don't really grow on trees down there, huh?
No, they do not. I'd hate to see what salt air does to spruce tips out here.
Yeah.
If they did, salty mango mead. But that's my summer project. As soon as I get some with orange blossom, by the way.
That sounds pretty good.
It does.
Let's see what happens.
I have a big long to brew list that I have not touched in a year, and the last thing I actually started I still have in the fermentation bucket, and that was my bomb. So that really needs to be racked.
Oh yeah.
But hey, it's good information for anybody else who happens to be as lazy a mead maker as I have ended up being.
Well, I'm going to take the strawberry and the blueberry that didn't get racked when they should have before I had to leave all in a big hurry when my daughter went in the hospital last fall. And then literally I haven't had like 2 minutes to put together since then. So I'm going to go ahead and rack them and get them into car buoys and then let them sit and see what happens. And maybe by the time I get back, they'll have come to their senses and said, oh, okay, yeah, we're not going to taste like crap.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, it's basically this is me trying to delay the inevitable dumping it down the sink because it went sideways on me because I wasn't paying attention. So, yeah, it wouldn't be the first time I've had one come back from the dead, so I figure I'll give it a chance.
Might as well. You never know.
It can happen. I mean, one of my starting out worst meads ended up being one of the best meads ever, but it took quite a long time. I don't know. Fruit meads, though, is different. So with melomel, I don't know if this is going to work or not. David Webb is saying distill it. I might very well do that, David, because, I know people who know people. So, yeah, that could potentially happen. I don't know. Plus, there's a new distillery down the road. Maybe I'll just take it over there and see if they want it.
Have them do a custom batch.
Yeah, right. You guys want to do a cold brew? Could you distill this for me? Thanks ever so. But it's like 8 gallons of one and 5 gallons of the other. It'd work out to be like a quart. By the time it was all done. So.
You think about how much work it is to get all that stuff together for your how many gallons of mead, and then you distill it.
Yeah.
It seems like so much work for so little gain.
Yeah, I know. Well, but, it's so good when it's done right. I don't know, is that you had said something, James, about a friend who has a distillery. Are you guys thinking about doing a co-distill? Can you do that? I don't even know if that's if you can do something like that.
Well, we would just make mead there and co-brand it.
Ah, okay.
I mean, it would be under their license, and we just, that's part of the collaboration thing. You got to work those parts out.
Yeah, that's true. But that's something you don't see very much either. Is distilled mead, not well distilled. I've seen several poorly distilled meads, but.
Well, I guess it's is it New Caledonia? Bar Hill does that bee vodka.
Yeah, but it's just a honey vodka,
distilled.
though. It's not a distilled mead.
No, it's a distilled mead.
Is it?
Yep.
I thought it was a honey vodka. Okay.
There's some honey vodkas out there, but theirs is he started out as a beekeeper. I think.
I'm gonna have to. It seems to me like I was gonna try that, and I never got around to getting a bottle from him. So I'll have to get a bottle from him and give it a shot because I like vodka.
James, are you still keeping bees?
Me? Yeah. Not as. Certainly not as many as we would need to keep up with our stuff. We just had another tractor trailer show up today with honey in it. I mean, not all of that was for us, but I'm starting to have questions about when we're going to put in a honey silo, and that didn't seem like it seemed like a really far off thing. Now it's starting to seem more and more like an inevitability at some point. I keep maybe a dozen hives, and I'll probably split. There's 2 at my parents' house that are doing really well. It'll probably both get split. And I have a bunch spread out elsewhere. I still keep them, but it's really hard to do as good a job as I would want with as much as we put in at the meadery,
Yeah. Okay. Well, as usual, we have gone over, because we always do. I'll be shocked if we ever end early. I don't even know what we'll do if that ever happens. We'll probably die of shock.
No, we'll just keep talking and then we'll be over.
Yeah, then we'll be over, yeah. Well, James, it sounds like you guys have got some neat stuff, and it also sounds like I need to come back to Baltimore and visit, and this time actually see the tasting room too, since you and I just hung out in the production facility when I was there this time.
Well, hopefully it will exist by the time you return.
The puppies of the apocalypse just heard something, and off they went, barking like fools.
Well, you guys have a great evening, and thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was. And I know there's a whole lot of people. I was posting about all the interesting herbal conversation that was going on, so there's going to be a whole lot of people who are going to be downloading this to listen to it. So.
Yeah, I've got 2.5 pages of notes.
Yeah.
herbs.
Wow, I'm surprised my ranting word did that.
Well, we got
Yeah,
off
later
onto
you
some
learn
really good
something.
conversation there, and that's, that's what people want to hear about, so.
Well, that and I guess with the engineering background, you've got good experimental technique, and that's something that not everybody has and not everybody describes, even if they do.
Yeah.
I mean, you always go with the